Oh, hey, everybody. Interesting chat. I was going to talk directly to Macy about a few different things, but he's gone now, so I won't be able to do that. But just to comment on what he was saying, basically, is it okay for them to come in and pretend to be the opposite sex? Is what they basically said, isn't it? And
No,
the
they're
answer is
talking
obviously,
about Twitter.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Coming on Twitter and
There's
being a
no
man,
bathrooms
but
on there's no bathrooms on Twitter, sweetie.
no. But is female only spaces. There are places
No,
where
no,
women
no,
want to
no, no.
support.
That's incorrect. Twitter is
No,
a
there are.
public
I'm in them
service
all the
that's
time.
free.
We say
You,
we
you
say
could
can
read the
this space
terms of
we can
service of
request.
Twitter, Joe. You could read the terms of service of Twitter. You could
Okay,
you
no,
could
but okay. Well,
you
anyway,
could
but you can
invest.
request the space to be female only, and then when we do that, if a man comes in, we 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 say like, "Oh, this is a female only space. Can you respect that?" And then 99% of the time, these guys leave because they understand what's going
Yeah,
on.
you could request. You could
Yeah,
request for
and
that.
that the same as the bathrooms. We're requesting it. We can't enforce
But
it.
but exactly. So
Yeah, well, I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with that part of that. It's about civil discourse, isn't it? It's a request for something. Do
I
So
disagree.
if
you think it's okay
what
that a person pretends that they're opposite sex, talks to another woman on a woman to woman
no, we get it.
values, and you're talking away about something maybe really private that you wouldn't necessarily want
We
to talk to
understood.
about a man?
Look,
Yeah.
so what you're saying is that if there happens to be a time where you, unbeknownst to you, speak to a trans person who you later discover is a male, and you'll feel violated by that. So what you're saying is that you are scared of the idea of accidentally talking to a trans person.
No, that's not fair.
Have I
No, what I'm
misinterpreted?
saying to you No, what I'm saying is, say like sometimes we do request a female only space. And so, like, obviously, that's not necessarily going to be respected or whatever, but most of the time it is respected. And there's lots of trans spaces that go on that are just for trans people, and they're often respected. You don't get women and men just popping in there willy nilly kind of thing. But I just think I think it's important to be honest about your sex when you're talking in some circumstances, when you're talking directly to another woman, if you're another woman, if you're saying that you are a woman. I mean, if I'm just chatting about cars or the weather or animal cruelty or whatever the subject is, it doesn't matter about what your sex is.
Well, should I just wear it on my forehead or something? Like, I can't tell everyone I meet on a day that I'm trans. I can't keep doing that.
I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking if there's specific spaces that are single sex, no matter where they are, for them to be respected.
I don't go into those.
Well, there was the chat before was talking about coming onto Twitter, and would it be a problem that I pretend that I'm a woman when actually I'm a man? And I was just saying, in some instance, that could be a problem, and some women would find that a problem. I personally, in some circumstances, would find that a problem. Maybe 75%. I'm a single issue person, and that's the only reason I use Twitter is to connect with my gender critical female friends. It was
But
just an example.
You've got Lady Laments, who's a GC, listening into spaces of people that don't actually want her there listening into spaces, of recording those spaces and putting these spaces on
And this is a
YouTube.
feminist.
And that's one of your own.
I've only seen it the other way round. I've only ever seen trans people posting
So
things
you
about
haven't seen the
feminists.
Lady Laments put anything up where a female
I
has
haven't.
said
I'm
that
not
they're
saying it doesn't
uncomfortable with
exist.
it?
So you're saying that some
Oh,
gender
Lady
critical
Laments
people?
is GC. Lady Laments is GC.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay
So,
whatever way
so,
round it's
so
done.
maybe, so maybe then you have to also look at the way that gets put across. Because I've been in a room, a GC room, where it was women speaking about being raped, the trauma they'd suffered at the hands of men, violence against women, invites a man in to that room. So that kind of just rebuffs your whole argument. Because that's somebody who other women have fought to get funds for as
Just
well.
blame it on the trans. Blame it on the trans.
I'm not blaming anything on the trans at all. I'm just Obviously, if it's happening both ways, then it's happening both ways. It's not correct either way. I'm not going to
Joe, when I came
justify it.
to Twitter a year ago, I was anti-trans. As a gay man, I was anti-trans. I thought they were all fucking delusional. I'm not playing along. It's absolutely ridiculous. However, being in those spaces, the female-based Union USA account, the prominent Amanda Benson, the Peaches, all of that group that hold these types of spaces, they invited me in as a gay man and to be part of this movement to push back on gender ideology. But you know what? It has nothing to do with people transing. It's filled of hate. They claim that they want to protect women and children, but they're on Twitter messaging 16-year-old trans people to kill themselves. That is full of hate.
Show me that.
You
Okay,
don't.
show me then. Show me it.
I'm not going to go back to it. I haven't been in those circles since a year ago. August.
Put it up at the top. Look, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, of course, but some women can be like that, obviously. But on the whole, the hate, the killing, the aggression is definitely coming from the male side, strangely.
To be fair, the percentage of trans people is so incredibly low that there's 100% more women doing it than trans people.
And yet there is more hate from the male side.
Oh, please. It's always
How are you
the
measuring
man.
hate? Online shit?
Mike pointed out at the beginning of Joe's commentary that there are no bathrooms on Twitter. And I thought that really made me think, because so often when we hear about the arguments today about trans women staying out of like a female bathroom, the issue is just that, and so Mike said, but there are no bathrooms here on Twitter. So Joe's issue was she
Word woman.
Yeah, but was she worried about like a trans woman being so effective as a trans woman in her presentation to us that a trans woman would be in like a biological woman's space and the biological women wouldn't know, and then they would be violated because if they ever did know? Is that what she was?
It's that, and they don't like anybody using the term woman as if they have sole use of it. Like, even when the trans people said trans woman, they didn't like that because it had the term trans in it. This, at the end of the day,
okay,
Card, it's not going to make sense for Card to go around with a tattoo on her forehead saying, I am a biological man. If you went into those spaces with people like Joe and you said, well, I can understand how a trans person would just say trans woman instead of woman, they would call you a misogynist and kick you out of the space.
Well, I'm in a lot of their spaces. And if you look at I don't know how you can evaluate my followers or who I follow. There's a lot of the TERFs or whatever those are that because I don't think that I can properly try to understand trans people and their cause without understanding like the cause that's pushing back against them.
Yeah, I just want to keep biological females out of trying to have sex with me. Honestly,
no disgust here. It opened up more questions in my head, just, a whole nother side of things. I'm grateful to be, welcomed into everyone's community so far, and I want to be present.